Welcome to the MattyRocks experience in the Instagram live sessions. I am your host, MattyRocks. I am back after a long-awaited hiatus. Back in 2021, this is my first interview back on the Instagram channel. Took a little hiatus in 2020 and decided to come back and start the interviews up again in 2021. Tonight, I'm going to welcome a special guest, Canadian rock singer and songwriter, guitarist, Sabrina Fallah. She is coming on right now. Sabrina!
Hi!
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
The long-awaited MattyRocks interview.
Yeah, I know, right?
And I just want to say, first of all, Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year to you.
And I want to thank you for being patient with me as I transitioned out of my hiatus back into my interview status. So
Yeah,
I
it's
know that
fine.
we've been working on it for a while, but I want to
Yeah.
thank you for sticking with me. Okay?
Yeah, all right.
So how are you during this crazy time that we're in, this pandemic? What were some of your big events or some of your highlights in 2020 that you could at least say that you captured, that were positive?
That were positive? Well,
Yeah.
I have to say 2020 was my mainstream radio year because
Okay.
I was on mainstream radio for a whole year, so that's good. I kept on getting accepted on mainstream. I did virtual concerts, which I'm not used to because I'm used to going on stage and performing in front of people, but this is what everybody's doing. So I'm getting used to it. I'm still not, it's not me doing it on the video, but I have to do it now till everything is safe for all of us to go back out.
And we have to
And
adapt to change, right?
yeah.
Right on.
And I don't know. It's just so much going on, so much. Yeah.
What is one thing that you realized about yourself during this time, during this pandemic, during this quarantine, that maybe you never realized about yourself ever before?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, well, I never thought I could be stuck in my home for so many hours. Um, Figuring out what to do. What I've been doing a lot that I normally don't always do is watch a lot of movies because I don't know what to do a lot of the time. Like I do write songs, but there's other times where it's like, what do I do now? I'm so used to going out, going shopping, seeing people. Now I'm just like, okay, I'll just watch horror movies for 24 hours. And I'm I'm a horror movie fan. So I
Right
just
on.
love watching those kind of movies. Yeah.
What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, well, I think the recent one I liked was Phil. Well, if you like torture movies and gore, you'll like that one.
Okay. I'll have to put it on the list.
Okay. Well, oh yeah. There's plenty of those kind of movies. Yeah.
So give us an update on the current situation where you're at in Ottawa, Canada, and give us, tell us what's going on currently with COVID in your area.
Well, the one thing I'm surprised about, we got back into lockdown about a week ago because we have the new UK virus that kind of got here.
Oh,
I don't know how it came here. I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, Ottawa and Ontario was supposed to have it for 2 weeks lockdown. But now that that virus came, it's going to be an extra 2 weeks. And honestly, the only places that are closed are the malls and the restaurants. The grocery stores, the doctors for virtual, and the pharmacies are open because you need to get your medication. But like maybe some coffee shops are open, but not the ones in the mall area.
okay.
But yeah, but the malls were open during Christmas, but they closed it right after for the lockdown.
Right now, we've down here in Minnesota, we've kind of gone back and forth. We're just ending a kind of a stay-at-home order by the governor. He's now releasing things back to us on Monday to where we can go out in public and, congregate in restaurants and in other areas. So that's going to be nice to get out and at least go to a restaurant. You know,
Yeah, I was doing that. And actually, the restaurants had tables separated. They didn't have screens, but they just like separated it. Everybody wearing masks. It was so comfortable walking into a restaurant. I didn't even know the masks were on because we were seated so apart from each other, which was nice.
right on.
Yeah.
So would you say you've transitioned into 2021? Good, off to a good start.
So for me, 2021 is good, but I just hope the lockdown doesn't last 6 months like it did last year.
Right. Yeah. Let's hope
But
not.
I don't know. They say there's this new vaccine. Let's see how that goes.
Right on. All right, Sabrina. Let's. I want you to take Matty Rocks listeners back to the early years of your life
Yeah.
in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I want you to give us an insight to how music came into your life.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting question because I feel I was born into it. Before I could speak, I would be humming tunes. And then when I was in school, I would write poetry and short stories, which then led me to thinking, if I can do that, I'm sure I can write a song. And then I used to write songs before I could play an instrument. I
Hmm.
would have the melody in my mind. And then I started learning the piano at age 10. And then at 15 or 16, I grabbed my first guitar. And then, but before I grabbed my first guitar at 14, I won my first singing competition, which led me to want to eventually grab an instrument so I can accompany myself. But I just went into music straight on. I had other interests, but music was always first on the list.
So it wasn't a family member. It wasn't anyone like that who you kind of looked up to, and you just did it yourself.
Well, my cousin would always play guitar around me, but I was I guess he got me into the guitar playing, and he was always telling me if you get into music, do it because you love it, because you want it, because that's the only way you can actually succeed. You have to feel passionate about it, especially in this business. It's tough, so you really have to want it to to
Absolutely.
to be in this business. So I do it because I'm passionate. I'm not doing it because somebody's telling me to do it. You
Right on.
know?
Right
Yeah.
on. My youngest daughter at 13,
Oh,
she asked for a guitar for Christmas and an
nice.
acoustic guitar. She didn't want an electric acoustic. She wanted
No.
just an electric, or I'm sorry, an acoustic guitar. And I thought, she did good on the ukulele, and she's got it in.
I
Oh yeah,
I want to learn the ukulele.
yeah, she did. She did very well on that. So I thought, I think she'll transition very well to the acoustic guitar, and
If
she
she can
has.
play the ukulele, she'll be okay on the guitar, I'm sure.
Yep, she played. God, I can't remember the name of the song. Um, Goo Goo Dolls. It was a Goo Goo Doll song,
Goo Goo Dolls,
and
okay.
and she just learned it on her own.
Nice. Oh,
So
she
she's
does she
self-taught.
play by ear?
She
Yeah.
does.
Me too, me
She
too.
does. A
Me
lot of my
too.
family plays by ear. So,
Yeah, it's so hard when somebody puts sheet music in front of me. I'm like, just let me hear the music. I'll play it.
right, right. So, Sabrina, talk about some of the earlier influences in your life musically who have helped shape and make you the artist that you are today. And
Okay, so from the beginning, I was listening to Simple Plan, Avril Lavigne, Evanescence. Michelle Branch was the first one. I just fell in love with her.
wow,
And then slowly I got into Green Day, Bon Jovi, Billy Idol. Green Day is the one that's like, as you can see behind me, Green
I
Day.
see that.
They are the ones that got me to where I am. So they're like my idol, my inspiration, my everything. But Bon Jovi and Billy Idol, I've seen them live. I saw Billy Idol, and he's good. He's good live. My God. But yeah, I've seen them all live.
Yeah, he's on my interview list, and I've made it a couple attempts to interview him, but I've never gotten it. So
Aw,
hopefully one day.
yeah. Just be positive, and anything can happen.
Absolutely. So you right when you named off a lot of those different artists, you're talking about a couple different, you're talking genre jumps. Okay.
Yeah, because
So
when I was yeah,
how did you derive at rock?
because when I was young, I didn't have the raspy voice or the edge. I had soft voice, so I would sing songs that suited me. So then I had to get a vocal coach, and he would tell me how to sing certain words to sound like rock. And I had to build my rasp by singing songs with rasp, and then I built it. Brian Adams did the same thing. If you hear his earlier work,
Hmm.
it's so clean compared to what he has. He did the same thing.
Absolutely.
A lot of the rasp is built in by doing a lot of vocal work, and then it sticks there naturally.
Right on. Well, you sound great.
Thank you.
You got discovered pretty recent, within the last few years,
Yeah,
and
2018. Yeah.
18. And the way that you got discovered was very unique and not the typical way that people get discovered. Now, I know this, and I'm going to have you talk about it, but I would have loved to have logged into this platform and, someone discovered me. It's not ever happened, but talk
Oh,
about that platform and how it all came to be for you.
well, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. So I had for during 2018, I haven't been on my LinkedIn account for about a year because I just said there's no point. There's nothing on LinkedIn. So one night, I remember it was 10:30 at night, and I got on, and I'm like, I'm just gonna check to see if there's any emails because I've never been on it for so long. I was lucky that I got on that night because there was somebody interested and gave me some names of labels to contact, and I'm like, wow. And that was during the point of my life where I was really suffering because I'm like, I'm trying so hard, and I've I've wanted to give up, but I just never did. I just kept going, and that kind of like it's like God is saying, wait a second, open this email. So yeah, and then so I contacted Dance Plant Records, and then we spoke, and then in a few months they said, would you like to sign with us? And I'm like, yeah, we're talking for so long right now. Yeah, so yeah, LinkedIn, I'm really happy to whoever told me to get LinkedIn because I never thought LinkedIn would be the place where I would have gone and discovered because everybody gets to discover it on YouTube or on TikTok or on some kind of those live other social media accounts. But LinkedIn, I don't even know how he found me, but I never asked him how he found me because sometimes it's good to leave things mysterious.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. Don't go into the details because there's a reason for everything.
Absolutely. Well, maybe we'll post this interview on LinkedIn and maybe something will happen with Matty Rocks. I don't
You
know.
know what? I'll do that. Why not?
So, out of that experience, I mean, you got signed with a label and then you broke into mainstream radio.
Took a year.
Took a year.
I got signed in January 2019, and then November 2019 I got my first mainstream break, and from that day, wow.
So, how does the mainstream radio work, Sabrina? Is that all legwork from you? Is that your label? I mean, you're
Both.
all over the place. You're on this station, that station, in this country, in that country, and is
It's
that you?
both. It's both sides. Um, my label all still tells me because I'm used to doing so much on my own that they told me not to stop doing the work myself. So as they're doing it, I'm doing it too. Because I can approach the mainstream on my own now because I have a label. I just say I have a label and I'm on these stations and they go for it. And I've had mainstream interviews, which is very different. It's like 15 minutes and you have to talk and do things short and to the
Hmm.
point, and you have to follow certain rules, and you can't swear, you can't say certain things. I can't promote certain things.
Hmm.
It's different, but it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I think all their airtime is accounted for, and all their bits and pieces. It's all accounted for, and
Hmm.
they only give you a certain amount of time to do it.
Yeah.
Well, what a great opportunity, and some very blessed things that have happened with you from that opportunity, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have had the opportunity to work with many different producers in the industry that have pretty extensive resumes in the music industry.
Right.
First off, how did you get connected with all of these different people?
Well, Stuart Epps in England, I worked with Elton John, Oasis, Twisted Sister. When I was in college, I had a producer's class, and he called in for one of the producers
Mm,
in the producer's class on Skype and asked certain questions. He saw me on the video. I kept raising my hand with every question he was asking. He spotted me. He talked to me in front of 40 people in the class. I was shy. I was nervous. And in front of all those people, he asked for my email.
wow.
Yeah, so I got out of my class telling my dad, I just got Stuart F's email. So yeah, so that was my little first break I got, early 20s I got. And then Chris Burkett, Toronto, a Songwriters Association club that I was in for songwriting. I couldn't find the place, so I met this guy on the street, just so happens to be going there. And I was telling him I'm looking for a producer, and he knew Chris, and he gave me Chris immediately. So I was just lucky I met him right there. And Kent Wells, I got known online. I was looking for songwriters, and I met somebody that connected me with Kent. And yes, Dolly Parton. I was singing in front of her microphone.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just in this industry, you just have to be at the right place at the right time and just believe. And all these things happen, and I didn't even expect it. It was just there, and I had to grab it.
Right on. Which out of those names, and I'm sure there's a couple more, but who out of all of that group, who's been the most influential and best to work with?
Ooh, that that's gonna be hard to answer because every producer okay, all I can say is they didn't like change me. They always asked me what's the sound I was looking for. I sent them the bands I liked. They gave me what I wanted. The only thing I didn't want was autotune. And when I was with Kent, he said, now is the rule, there's autotune. There's going to be autotune in your music, but it's going to be so small that they're not going to hear it. Because I told him, if I sound robotic, I'm not going to like it, you know? But honestly, Kent taught me a lot. Like, he taught me not to be scared, to push my vocals as far as it can go. It's not going to be strainful. Chris, the same thing. All my producers made me comfortable before I sang in the studio. And in England, they gave me tea and food. I tried to speak with their accent. They were all nice to me, and but I would work with them all again. But um, I'm just glad that they let me have creativity as well,
Absolutely,
and
that's huge.
in the whole production. And another thing in Nashville, I co-wrote 10 songs, and I had to choose five. One of my songs Kent didn't really think was good because the demo that somebody else sang, because I lost my voice one night, I sang so much that I couldn't do it, did not do it justice. But I told Kent, my voice is back. Can I sing it for you? Because I love that song. It's my song didn't last. It almost didn't make the cut. And I sang it, and he's like, okay, it's a keeper.
Right on.
In Nashville, I did have a bit of like I had to prove to because Ken is gonna record a song that he feels is good to record under his name, because he does a lot of big bands in Nashville. So having to fight for that song, and I won, I'm really happy.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. You have 2 album releases under your belt now. What or how have those releases been for you? What have they done for you?
Um, they got me on mainstream radio. They were so well produced by well-known producers that it actually got me on mainstream. Like, I never thought I would get on mainstream because I know how hard it was. Even my label said even some of the major artists don't get on mainstream. Like, you don't know, some of them are just touring, they're not even on the radio.
Right.
I am so, like, I praise every day. I'm just so happy to say that all my songs have been played on mainstream
That's awesome.
at least once. Some of them are in rotation, but I can say all of them have been at least once on mainstream. And I'm like, wow. I'm still in shock by the mainstream to this day. Like, it happened a bit too fast. Once it's got picked up, it went on, and I'm just so happy. I just hope one of my song hits one day, but it's gonna happen when it's time.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you remember Matty Rocks.
Oh, I'm coming back. I'm
Okay,
coming
good.
back. Yeah.
All right.
That's
Because we'll talk again.
yeah.
We'll talk again. Where do the ideas and inspirations come from? Where do you pull them from that create these songs that you create?
Life. What others go through, what I go through. I like to help people with my music. Like, my song Hurt is about a situation in my life that I had to walk away from a friend. And I know how hard it is to walk away from a friend you've known for so long,
Mm-hmm.
especially a best friend. Um, so I just want people to know that it's hard, but sometimes you need to let go of things. So, yeah, I try to write songs that people can also relate to as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's coming up for you musically next?
Hopefully, I can get in the studio first. I am writing, but getting into the studio is just like, I was gonna go last year, but then the pandemic happened and it ruined everything, completely everything. But I'm not the only one it ruined. It ruined a lot of people's studio time, and yeah.
Well,
I don't have a home studio. I go to a studio, so I have to make sure they are uh, okay with me going into their studio for it. It's safety precaution.
absolutely. And I truly believe that the music industry is going to come back bigger and better than it's ever been. And
Oh,
they're going to rebound from this.
once everything is okay. Oh my God, the festivals are. Oh my God, the festivals are gonna be packed. It's gonna be great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Uh,
can't wait.
I want you to talk about the musicians that back you. Now, I don't know if Sabrina has a band of her own that actually back you, but some of the musicians that actually play on your music, are those session musicians?
They are. They are. Chris Burkett, the songs I did with him, he plays them himself.
Okay.
He doesn't use fake drums or pre-recorded instruments. He plays them live himself because I want it to sound real. With Stewart, he actually took different band members from different bands to make a band for me. Actually, my drummer on my first EP was from a metal band. So it gave the perfect sound I wanted for my first EP. And for my Kiss is a Killer EP, my drummer was Kelly Clarkson's tour drummer.
Wow.
I know. When I met him, I'm like, I love Kelly Clarkson. This is so cool.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
I love Kelly Clarkson. She's great.
See, that's the cool thing about the music industry is you bump into all these different people, you network, and It's then
Yeah.
then you're all
and
connected.
and and they know how to do it so fast, like they're not wasting time. Like you just
Yeah.
give it to them and they track it. I'm like, they just heard it once. Wow, this is great. This is fast. Because it's money. So they have to do it
Yes.
fast so I can get in and start recording as well. But it was great. They were fun. And then at the end in Nashville, we took pictures and I met them. But I'm in Nashville. I met so many wonderful people and they were so nice.
Yeah, I love Nashville. I've been there a few times. I would love to get back there. So,
Yeah, it's beautiful there.
Sabrina, in past interviews of female musicians, there have been conversations about struggles with being a female in the industry.
Yes.
Um, have you ever experienced struggles in the industry for being a female? And what was that? And if so, what was that situation and how'd you handle it?
Well, I'm not going to mention the name of the
No, you don't have to.
producer, but no, I'm not going to. But I actually forgot his name anyway. There is a reason for that. I don't want to remember that person. But I was told that I could not be a rock singer. Um, I would be better as a pop singer. Anybody would be good as a pop singer. Okay, it's so easy to sing pop. But the thing about me is I can sing pop, but I want to be me. I want to be who I want to be. And I had to walk away from that producer because he didn't believe in me. He said, just be pop. If I really wanted to do pop and I did it, what if it would have been the opposite? I might have never gotten the airplay. Who knows? Who knows? And even if I did it, I wouldn't have enjoyed it anyway because it's not me. Also, being a female rock singer, I've had people tell me females cannot sing rock. Excuse me, Joan Jett, Pat Benatar, Melissa Etheridge, the
Hmm.
Cranberries. Don't
Hmm.
come and tell me I can't sing rock. Like, also being a female in the industry, you females get more hate than male. For some reason, I'm finding out that the people are liking the male bands more and more than the females. I don't know why, but us girls can do a lot
You
in
girls,
life.
you girls can rock.
We can rock and we can do things in life that maybe men can't do. Like
Absolutely.
like actually anybody can do anything when they put their mind to it, I think. Um, uh, so I didn't take the pop route. I took the rock route. I stuck to my guns. I got to the label and I got on mainstream being a rock singer. They can go. I already punched them in the face for what they said. I showed them that I could do it.
Good for you.
And if they're watching me, they're probably like, man, she did it. Yeah, I did.
Good for you.
When people say you can't do something, show it to them that you can.
It motivates you.
Yeah, it does actually. It does. It at the beginning it hurts, but after a while you start to realize, wait a second, I have to prove them wrong.
Well, it's sad that we even have to have a topic like that, in a comparison between men and women in the music industry. It's sad that that even comes up. I mean, I was told even by a male figure at one time that I would never make it with music interviews. And here I am,
Jealousy,
11 years later.
jealousy. I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
it's all jealousy. Pat Benatar, I read this somewhere. Pat Benatar wasn't going to get signed to a major because they said that her hair was too short and that she looked more like a tomboy kind of rock singer. They wanted to make her a pop, so she went with another label. Joan Jett couldn't get signed because of the way she was, so she made her own label. Um,
Yeah,
there's always ways to succeed. You just have to figure it out, and the people who like you will follow you.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
most of the time, people are just jealous that you're able to do something and they're still trying to figure themselves out, pretty much. So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sabrina, what would you say is the key ingredient that's going to keep you going musically and creating all this great music that you've been doing for these last few years? Give me that one key ingredient.
Being happy.
It's important. That's a big part of the mixture.
Yeah.
If you take that out, it's going to be bland.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Right on. Out of your short musical career so far, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to reflect back on these last couple years. What would you say has been your biggest musical accomplishment?
Okay, let's not talk about mainstream here. Let's talk about something else that led me to that. I
Right.
think getting the opportunity to go to England with Stuart was my first break, and then after that, I'm like, maybe I have a chance in this industry. Stuart Epps that worked with Twisted Sister and Elton John, and he was talking about Elton John so much with me. He was unbelievable. Like I was in his studio, and I'm like, am I actually here? I was in college classroom, and now I'm in here in a studio in England. And he was terrified while I was flying. He's like, I hate flying. Are you okay? I hate flying. Oh my God, I hate flying. But as long as I get on the ground, I'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um, what do you want the world to know about Sabrina Fallah and your music that maybe they don't already know about you?
That I'm going through exactly what you're going through in life.
We're
We all suffering in similar ways, maybe not the exact way, but something similar that is relating to each other.
we're all right now, if you think about it, we're all on the same level playing field.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
and the one thing I'm not doing is writing about the COVID, like a lot of the artists are doing. My label told me not to for reasons, and I agree. When it's over, I don't want a song to be still out there talking about the COVID.
Right on.
So that's the I normally write about things that aren't so happy, but the COVID is something I cannot even write it on paper. It's too sad.
Hmm.
It's not right to sing about. I don't think.
No. What does the future hold for you musically, Sabrina?
I would love a world tour. I don't know whatever comes. Things that come up to me every day, surprising me. Anything can happen. Actually, a mainstream station a week from today is going to be rotating me because they're in lockdown. They can't put me on the radio till they're back in the studio. So things are happening. Things are good so far. This year is going to be good for me, but I
Good.
just really want the lockdown to be gone so everybody can have an enjoyable year. And especially in the summer, we want to go out. We want to have fun.
Absolutely. Oh boy, there's my cats. They've come out. Oh boy, my kitties. I
Yay!
they were
Kitties!
sleeping. They were sleeping, and I thought, oh great, I could get through this interview. Boy, that. Well, I don't think you can't hear them, can you?
I love cats.
Oh, well, if they come over here, I'll pick one up. They're
Uh,
14, 13 weeks old.
oh, they're babies!
Yeah, and they're raising
Can I
havoc right.
have one?
Actually, yeah, you might be able to have both. I didn't know if I was ready for this, and I still don't know if I still don't know
But
if I'm
come
ready for
on, they're
this.
adorable, aren't they?
They are adorable. They are adorable.
It's
Uh,
okay. Cats can join in all they want.
okay. All right. Sabrina, where do you direct people who want to find out more information about you? What are all the socials? Where are you going to send those people?
They can go to my website, sabrinafallah.com, or to make it easier, just put Sabrina Fallah on Google and it all comes up on the top. At Facebook, MySpace. I'm still on MySpace, by the way.
Wow.
I know. I started on MySpace, so I have to keep my profile. MySpace, Twitter, Instagram. It's all Sabrina Fallah. TikTok and Snapchat is Sabrina underscore Fallah. or just contact me on Facebook and I'll let them know. I love meeting new people, so they can contact me. I won't bite. Yeah, so that's great.
Uh, I I'm going to give you an opportunity, the same opportunity that I give every artist that I have the opportunity to sit one-on-one with, whether it's in person or virtual. And that's a message to Matty Rocks listeners. And I want you to send a message to Matty Rocks listeners, whatever it is you want to say. What would you like to say to them?
Don't let anyone stop you from what you want to do in life. Just go for it and go with your gut and do what you love and never give up because you can and will succeed if you work for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go for it because impossible, take the M, makes it possible.
Right on.
Mm.
Sabrina, thank you very much for taking the time out of your night.
I really
Again,
enjoyed this, by the way. This was
good,
fun.
good. And
Yeah,
again,
I'm definitely coming back. Oh
good,
yeah,
good.
yeah.
This was an experience, and that's the Matty Rocks experience.
With
So,
cats.
right,
Yeah.
with cats, and my dog who's sound asleep.
Oh, I
But
love dogs.
I should.
I love
He won't come over here.
animals. I love animals.
I do too. I do too. But again, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to having you back. And I wish you nothing but continued success in
Thank you.
everything you've got going on musically in your musical arena. You've heard it here,
Thank
Matty
you.
Rocks listeners. Instagram live sessions with Sabrina Fallah. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Matty Rocks out. Thanks again, Sabrina.
Bye.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to turn this off now. I haven't done this in a while.